we are in the same frame. Now,
I
I was
swear. I mean,
technology
this is just
always
because
gets the
for the
better.
big celebrity that you are, that, there's so many requests coming in.
No, it just technology gets better of me every time. I somehow I feel. But anyway, so I was just telling before we started this live session, before I sent you a request and we were not able to join, I was just telling them how you changed the way I feel from the inside because of the kind of diet that you prescribed, the way you figured out what's wrong, the way you told me how it can be improved in a very natural way, which is no rocket science. So everything felt so easy. But before that, how it felt like, I don't know how do I handle my problems of my body or which way it is going to get better. So there's so many of my friends in the industry, outside the industry, who actually face the same problem because we have very similar lifestyle. So when I
Yeah,
discuss these problems with them, I feel like, there needs to be someone who can actually tell you that this is no rocket science and this is very natural. It just needs to be, there needs to be someone who can direct in the right way. And then came your book. So now we
yeah,
have this book which I've been telling everyone, please read it. It is the easiest way you can get to know what is good for you in the most natural way. We have Yuktahar, the Belly and the Brain Diet book written by Munmun. Yes, I also have mine. Wait, I'll get mine. This is I
Yay.
yes, I have my personalized signed one. So so
Yeah, and
maybe
there's
you can
actually
get your
forward
hands
in
on.
the book, which is very,
Yeah,
very special,
yes, I have written
considering,
a forward.
yeah,
My personal experiences, guys, they've been like my personal experience with Munmun. So, Munmun, I'll start with a few questions that I have thought of asking you, basis my experience with my diet, with my lifestyle, and which a lot of others, I think, in this fast-paced life will identify with. We
yeah,
all are workaholics here, right? And but we want to stay fit as well in whatever limited time that we have. Nobody has time to weigh 250 grams of protein, 300 grams of carbs in life. No, none of us have this time. So
yeah,
let's just answer a few common questions which people can actually get enlightened with, some break some myths, and let's just give them few hacks. And for the detailed knowledge, you can always have this book which is there on Amazon. So start with the first thing. When I came to you, I had a huge problem with my gluten intolerance. I used to
yeah,
feel that I put on weight when I have gluten. I stopped having rotis, chapatis. Matlab, a Sadarni who was brought up with parathas and rotis an entire life, I had to stop all of that. No roti, no chapati, no parathas for me. I used to run away from gluten. So, do you think that is a good way, or that is something that actually can help, or we can make some way for little gluten and not enough, or what can be the hack for this, because a lot of us today feel that we can't digest gluten.
yeah. So, Taapsee, I'll start with your example. Like when we started working, you were already on a gluten-free plan, which you yourself had kind of devised because you were a person who used to read a lot and you always knew kind of, what is good, what is not good, right? But even
Yeah,
after leaving gluten, there weren't those kind of benefits that you were anticipating. Like for the Sardarni in you to leave everything was quite a challenge, a show of willpower. And then जब हम मेहनत करते हैं, we want something to show and some results, some feeling better, which wasn't there. So
yeah,
this is exactly how everyone is, suffering, I would say nowadays, because हर कोई gluten तो छोड़ देता है, but after that they just feel that कुछ miracle हो जाएगा and then our health is going to get better because we have just left gluten. But it doesn't work like that. We should leave gluten for some time, only so that in that period of time we can heal our body, we can heal our gut. Gluten isn't necessarily bad, but if your body is in a state of imbalance, your metabolism is out of whack, you feel those fatigue which is unexplained, you feel that I'm doing so much but my weight isn't budging off, these are all signs of imbalanced gut function. So when these things are already there, tab jab hum gluten khayenge, it's going to aggravate the problem. So for that time, yes, you need to leave the gluten for some time. In the same time, you need to work on your gut function. using a lot of other nutrients. And once your gut is restored, you need to bring gluten back to the diet. So gluten is not something which is bad as such. Like in your case also, when we started working, I did say, chalo, theek hai, let's keep away gluten for some time. But then later, after some time, we brought it back, and now you have gluten. It's not that ki, ki aapko roti khana mana hai ya any kind of bread khana mana hai. It's not like that anymore. But yes, there was a time when we had restricted it. So this is exactly what is there in the book also. The book is like a 3-phased program, where in the first 2 phases you restrict gluten. In the meanwhile, you work on your gut function using other nutrients. In the last phase, in phase 3, when you're back to your gut health, you again bring back the gluten back to your diet. You don't have to quit it for a lifetime.
Yeah, and I think what people should understand is they shouldn't be having that gluten-free bread, because I realized when Munmun told me that the substances or the starch or that they use actually to replace gluten is actually going to make you put on more weight. And people
Yeah.
think that they'll have gluten-free diet so that it can help you reduce weight. So that's
Yeah.
a big myth that people need to get rid of. So
Yeah.
apart from
Gluten-free
this,
khana hai. Yeah.
apart from this, I feel, Munman, the one more thing which I really suffered from was the fact I hate night shifts. I detest waking up during late nights. I'm not a night person, but then with my job, and I'm sure a lot of others who are watching this, sometimes we have to stay up because of work, because of some or the other need that is there. We have to stay up the whole night to work. So what kind of diet was a big issue for me, because my metabolism used to die after sunset, and I used to feel so fatigued with my metabolism that everything used to just pull me down energy wise. So tell me, what first of all, what is the right time you feel generally in a normal body cycle is good to sleep? Or if a person is working in the night, then what kind of hacks can that person use in the diet so the metabolism doesn't give up?
So see, the good time to sleep is definitely, say 10ish. It's a good time to sleep. If not 10, then probably 10 to 11. That's a good time to sleep. Finish your dinner by 7, 7:30. Keep a 2 to 3 hours gap between the bedtime and dinner. And then, doze off anywhere between 10 to 11. But बहुत लोग होते हैं, जैसे, in your case, when you have to work in the night, the problem with night shifts is when we are staying awake, हमारा जो circadian clock का जो function होता है, that actually goes haywire because we are, staying awake. And when we stay awake in the night, it's obvious that we will eat also. So you're eating, you're drinking, you're staying awake, you're working. Most of the people who are staying awake in the night are either on laptops or phones because their profession demands so. So all that actually changes the, circadian clock function. And that in turn, brings a lot of diseases. Weight gain is just one of them. But it can, bring diseases, serious ones like cancer and so on. So, of course, we have to minimize